as you could have guessed by the title, today's video is suggestions for what to watch on Netflix. So today's is series that you can watch. I have it all written down, so if I continue to look down, it's because I'm trying to help you out and I'm not about to bounce these things off the top of my head. Like, I don't watch Netflix religiously. Like, imagine doing that, that would be embarrassing. Okay, so first category, horror movies. Horror series. Okay, so the first one on my list is Ratchet. I've just watched this. I love it. I think it's so good. It's kind of like a mini season of what, like, if you've seen American Horror Story, it's like a mini season. Like, it's not American Horror Story in the slightest, but if I was to compare it to anything, I would say it's pretty similar to American Horror Story, like the way it's made, the way things happen. It is gory, so if you don't have a stomach, don't bother watching it. But I think it's really, really good. I think it's great. Like, I would rate it 8 out of 10, and I've seen a lot, so that's pretty high in my rating. Second, American Horror Story. I love this. Each season is different. It's amazing. Like, if you have not seen it, you're wasting your time on other things. This, may I also specify, has a lot of inappropriate things in it. So if you're not prepared or you're not old enough, don't watch it. I think it's either a 15 or an 18, but if you're not prepared to watch it, then don't. It's got like sexual scenes and it's got graphic scenes, jump scares. Like, don't watch it if you're not ready for it. Some of the seasons also dip into like controversies, like having Trump as president. There's like lots of different kind of things. Next up is The Haunting of Hill House. I love this, I'm not going to lie, just because there's so much mystery throughout the entire thing and there's so many different kind of plot twists. I don't know, it's more about ghosts than anything rather than gory. Like, unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think this one is gory. I think it's more just ghosts and like jump scares and stuff like that. So if you're happy to watch that, go for it. Next on the agenda is comedy. So my first one, first foremost, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've watched this so many times, it's amazing. I know that it probably gets like, I don't know, less views because it was on E4, and a lot of things on E4 are kind of funny for like older generations, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine, oh my god, I love it. Love it to bits. I adore it. It's so funny, it's great. It's plot twist, it's funny, action, everything that you want. Like, I cannot stress this enough. If you have not watched it, watch it. Now's your opportunity. Next up is Jane the Virgin. See, this is something that is binge-worthy. I haven't finished it actually. I watched a bit of it and then I kind of dropped off, but having said that, I did enjoy what I did watch. I just ended up watching too many things at once, and that was one of the things that went. It is, I think it's like a rom-com. It's like, I don't know, it's like a whole storyline, and like start at the beginning, get to the end, and it's like watching a massive movie in a way, I guess. Like, if you're up for like binge watching something, Jane the Virgin. Next up, Rick and Morty. This isn't for everybody, but it's for me. I love Rick and Morty. It is funny. It's a bit like, it's not childish because like obviously all the language, all the jokes, it's kind of like, it's not like Family Guy, but if I was to compare it to like another kind of adulty cartoon, I would say it's like Family Guy. It is inappropriate for younger kids, but it's funny. I love it. It's amazing. The characters in it, great. Rick and Morty, thumbs up from me. I've watched it so many times. The next one is kind of different. It's Impractical Jokers. If you haven't seen this, it's something that you'd kind of catch on YouTube. It's like adults basically making other adults do dumb stuff. I think it's hilarious personally. I think they've got like great personalities. They're like great people. They're funny. If you're up for just like laughing and chilling, that's the one. It doesn't really take much dedication because you can just choose a random episode and watch it, and like they all like, it's not like it has a storyline. It's just them messing about. Next up, Dynasty. I love Dynasty. I adore it. Fallon Carrington, idol. She is so funny. She's great, honestly. Dynasty has a great storyline. It's funny. I know I've said this about a lot of things, I don't know, but this is set in America. They're like a wealthy family, but it's not like a cringy wealthy family. Like, it's not like watching something like, it's not like a reality show. It's like their life. However, there are like murders in it, scandals, there are different things. It's not gory in the slightest, but also not for like young viewers, I'd say, just because there are some kind of sexual scenes. I don't know how graphic, like I don't think it gets graphic in the slightest. Like, I think it's quite appropriate, but it's not, you know, PG. Next on my list is fantasies. I love fantasy movies, and I know it's like cringy. Obviously these aren't movies, they're series, but I love them. Okay, First up we have Sabrina. I've seen about 10 police cars go past this morning, like one huge gap, another huge gap, and I don't know why. Regardless, Sabrina is great. It's like, if you saw Sabrina as a child, it's like that, better made and for an adult audience. Like, once again, these are for all the teens. These are not things that I'd suggest for kids. Sabrina is, I don't know, it has some gore, it has mystery, it has plot twists. It's great. Like, it is, oh, I love it. I'm a Harry Potter fan, so you can tell that I like stuff like this. Like, I quite like kind of magic-y stuff, and it's just a way to get out of this world. It's amazing. Next is Umbrella Academy. Another thing, I love Marvel movies and stuff like that about like mutants and stuff, so this is perfect. This is kind of a real world, but with like obviously people with powers. But it's not like a superhero movie though, because they're not superheroes. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of, it's good. Get into it. Honestly, it's worth the watch. However, it's something that you have to be willing to like let go, because I think there's only like 2 seasons, I believe. So it's kind of watch it and then be sad when it ends. Like, that was me. I watched one, but luckily I watched one and then there was a bit of a gap, and then there was a second, so I had a bit of time in between and it wasn't just all gone, and I had like something to look forward to. I don't think it's finished, but I don't know, like that's beyond me. Next up is The Witcher. I love The Witcher. Main character, I've forgotten his name, is great. He's amazing. Basically, it is gory again. It's kind of like an adult, well, it's not adult movie, like, but it's like an adult series with like gore, but it's about like witches, and somebody goes around basically killing them. But only like bad witches. Like, he's a great guy, great character. I love it. It's kind of like watching like a mini Game of Thrones in a way, like to me at least. Like, don't judge me for that, but like that's how it is to me. Alright, that is it, fantasy. Okay, so the heading I've got here is crime. Yeah, it's kind of, these can be different genres in crime, but for me, it's not like documentaries, it's like series that involve crime. So, first up, I've got Money Heist. I love Money Heist. If you've not seen it yet, you are living in the past. Money Heist is amazing. It is in Spanish, but you get like, it's dubbed in English, so you can watch it in English. Like, obviously not everyone's going to watch it in Spanish. It's amazing. Once again, plot twist. There are funny parts I won't lie, but it's mainly kind of action. They're robbing a bank in Spain. It's amazing. It blows my mind. Like, it's something you can really get into, something that you can binge. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of seasons. Yeah, once again, worth the watch. Next up on our list is Good Girls. Now this is, I don't think many people have watched this, or at least from what I know, people just seem to kind of press past it because the front cover is like mums. But I'm not going to give away too much, but the mums rob a store, and then like one thing leads to another, and they come into this world of kind of crime, and it's great. It's kind of like everyday mums do this, and like I like it, you might not, but like I highly recommend it. I wish they had more seasons. Honestly, it is, yeah, something you can really indulge in, something that's fun, but it's also quite casual. There are also some attractive males, just saying. Next up is Insatiable. See, I've put this under crime just because there are some murders in it, but in general, I wouldn't, it's kind of more of a comedy, kind of a chill. It's kind of something, like, I don't know if this is because it has, like, Debbie Ryan in it, but for me, I think of it as kind of like a Disney thing. Like, it's not, because obviously there are murders, but for me, it's kind of about a girl who's overweight, loses weight, thinks that she's gonna, like, I don't know, feel way better in her skin. There's lots of different kind of twists and turns, ends up wanting to be perfect, doesn't feel perfect. There's a lot that goes into it. If you're up for that, give it a watch. I quite like it because it does deal with a lot of kind of mental health issues, and it's quite good. Like, not just meant like, I don't know, regarding body image and like how different sizes are each perfect, but like changing your size doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna feel better. Next up is action. This is one of my kind of favourite genres of movies. For seasons, I'm more into fantasy. So the first one we have is The Island. If you haven't seen this, it's kind of, if you've read Lord of the Flies, or you know what it is, it's basically there are people on an island and they all have to survive and fend for themselves, but then it turns out that basically someone is sending them kind of packages, and it's this whole thing. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's basically a survival action thing. People get, like, they lose their minds. It's great. Like, if you're willing to watch that, I'd suggest. Next up is 3%. This is another one that is in Spanish, but it's dubbed in English. I don't think many people have watched this either. I quite like this. This is in like a alternate reality, I want to say. I don't know if that counts, but it's kind of everybody lives in slums and everyone's trying to get to this place, which is like an amazing place with like all these cool stuff, but you have to take a test to get there, and if you fail the test you live in the slums. And I think it's amazing. I think it's kind of like, it really does kind of show reality in a swayed way. Like throughout life we have so many tests, and like if you don't get everything like right, you could end up like botched for life. So it kind of, yeah, I think it gets that message across really well. Once again, it's kind of about survival, I guess. But yeah, I think it's quite good. It's kind of like Black Mirror in a way, I guess. Next on my list is actually Black Mirror. I love this. So controversial. There are so many different things that happen. It is quite messed up at some point, so you have to have an open mind. And you do actually have one that's called the Bandersnatch, and you basically choose the path that the character takes, which I think is quite cool. It's like an interactive one. But yeah, the majority of it is kind of like representing taboo things in a show. So it's kind of, there's one where the president is getting blackmailed and he has to do like these horrific things on TV to prevent his blackmail from coming out, I believe. Like, I haven't watched that one in a while, so I could be wrong, but yeah, it's basically all kind of things. It's either where life could go, so it's kind of things about like technology going wrong or like the future. And it's kind of, yeah, I think that's quite cool. Like, I love it. You might not. Give it a whirl. Okay, my last and one of my favourite things is cooking. I love these. I love them. Cooking competitions. Oh. Okay, so cooking competitions, I love them. First and foremost, another police car. First and foremost, Zumbos Just Desserts. This is Australian cooking shows, like baking and like desserts. It's amazing. Like, I know you've probably seen like British Bake Off, but the Australians, they do it so much better. Like, what? It is mad. Like, some of the desserts they make are out of this world. Like, Zumbo himself, he makes creations that are amazing, like hovering creations. He just blows my mind. All the desserts are different. If you want to see something that is completely different to anything like that you would normally see in baking, Zumbo's Just Desserts. I've watched these on repeat. Love them. Next up, MasterChef. Classic go-to. This is less baking, more actual food cooking. Cooking competition, I love watching competitions, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, if you want to give that one a try, I'm pretty sure you already know what it is. Kind of like British Bake Off, but with cooking, I guess. Sugar Rush. I'm gonna put this one down with Sugar Rush and Nailed It, because they're both kind of, they're good to watch. Like, I've watched them, I enjoyed them, but it's not something that I could continuously watch. I don't think it's like, I don't know, they haven't spent awful lot of money or time on these programs. Like, they're not extended. It's kind of like each episode is a competition. Like, they're pretty small. So Sugar Rush is basically people have to bake to get through to like the final stage, but it all happens in one episode, and it's kind of just a room of people. Each, I don't know, every 10 minutes someone is like out, but there's only like 3 stages. And then Nailed It is basically the hosts / producers present them with like an amazing dessert, and these newbie bakers have to like try and recreate it. Never goes right. A lot of the desserts are kind of whack, but it's fun to watch, something to just watch in your free time. Final one, Extreme Cake Makers. I love this. It's amazing to see what people do in their free time. This isn't a competition, it's more people show their different designs for different clients. For cakes, they're massive, amazing cakes like people spend hours and hours on. Like, there is one with like a life-size horse in it. Horse pony. It's like a little, it is life-size, but it's like a little pony. I think it's amazing. Like, realistic looking animals. It's incredible. If you're up for like, there's a kid staring at me. If you're up for having like your mind blown by like what people can do with cakes, it's amazing. Okay, so that pretty much sums it up for everything that I would suggest to you on Netflix. There are probably some things that I've missed that I'm sorry if I have missed and you think, oh my god, like that's great. If you want to throw any suggestions for me down below, that would be amazing. I'm always looking to pick new things up from other people, or like even just Netflix. Like, I'm happy to binge anything, unless actually no, don't put documentaries in there. The only documentary I'm really into is Blue Planet. That's another one. Blue Planet, amazing. Makes you really, it gives you a feel for how big the world is. It's incredible. Give it a whirl. None of this is sponsored. I hope you enjoyed today. Please drop anything that you'd like me to start watching in the comments.